tired of using perm after perm and being left with damaged hair? Do you find yourself buying chemical after chemical to get the look you desire? If this is you, we have a solution. Lady Caramel's Organic Hair Moisturizer. A collection of natural ingredients designed to enhance and make your hair extra special, just the way you want. For more information, call Lady Caramel at 856-575-7621.
All right, welcome back to Let's Get It. As we head right into our normal closing thoughts, final segment. Once again, as you see, we got our photo photographer, Sarah Daywoo's out here helping marketing and promoting us. We appreciate her. We've had a fantastic show today. In our first segment, again, we got into talking about Nick Sirianni, talking about the Sixers, the big win over the Lakers. Our second segment, we were joined by Coach Brandon Johnson from the Hamilton West High School team, and we appreciate him joining us and hope to have him back on the show. And again, also in our third segment, if you have a chance to log on and view it, Jason and Jason Jr. had a chance to share their story about Jay Jr.'s recovery from cancer and the perseverance and how that has impacted him. So take a time to definitely listen to that. With that said, we go into our closing thoughts here on the show. We take my mask off now that we can be a little safer. We're doing it for the protection of Jay Jr. and everything like that. Helps us a little bit. Some of the things we didn't get to today, I want to just get into before we really close out. One of the big trades that just happened in the NFL. You saw Matthew Stafford got traded over to the Los Angeles Rams for Jared Goff. But it wasn't just for Jared Goff. The Lions got 2 first-round picks plus a third-round pick for Jared.
Wait a minute. So the Lions got Jared Goff and
picks.
Wow. And I would think that Goff and Stafford is kind of like on the same level, right?
That's exactly a lot of
I thought it was a
people
trade for trade. I didn't think it was.
Right.
Wow.
I would give, personally, I feel like Stafford has always been stuck in that kind of like situation in Detroit. It was not a winning situation. And I think I give him the edge over Goff. I think Goff is more
Goff's younger.
Yeah.
He's young. Yeah, absolutely young.
I think he's also more of a game manager. I don't know if he's actually going to go out and win it for you. I think Stafford's got that bigger arm.
Well,
but
he got the Rams to the Super Bowl last year, though, right? Didn't he go to the Super Bowl last year?
Yeah, on the strength of the defense, though.
I ain't gonna give nobody no
I
credit.
do, but that's strength of the defense.
Nobody no credit.
Strength to the defense. Strength to the defense.
I got you.
It's just, I'd say the haul that Detroit got, though. Not just with Goff, who, he might be able to produce for them, but to get 2 first-round picks plus a third round. Now the other question is Deshaun Watson, who has verbalized that he wants a trade.
Well, he's going to the Jets. That's the rumor.
Well,
he goes to the Jets.
Let me tell you, the haul that the Texans can ask for is going to be huge.
I'm sure.
But the Texans are a horribly ran organization, so I don't think they're going to get what they're looking for.
Now, can you say that Stafford and Phillip Rivers is kind of, can you see Stafford on that Phillip Rivers type of trajectory?
Trajectory, maybe. I think Phillip Rivers has had a much better career than
Oh,
Stafford is still good, but I think, like I said, he doesn't have as many solid years left in him.
Right.
Well, yeah, and there was at one point when he had Megatron, they were pretty decent.
Yeah.
They were pretty decent, but never enough to kind of get over the top.
There were years where you thought Phillip Rivers' teams were gonna make some noise.
Yes.
I don't think you ever thought Stafford's team.
No, that's true. That's true. I agree with that. That's true.
No, and it's just interesting. Like I said, you just have it out there. A move like this just kind of came out of nowhere. If you ask me, the Rams getting a quarterback like Stafford who can really sling the ball with the receivers they have out there and the defense. I think the Rams are a prime Super Bowl contender for next season.
Wow.
So we'll see what happens. But on top of that too, just kind of switching over. My Phillies made the big signing. JT is in town. JT is signed.
He left. Oh, he's in town. Right?
Oh, he's signed. 5-year deal, $115 million.
115?
Yes. And then Didi's back. 2 years, $28 million.
Well, you need a Didi.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what's interesting is from everything I read, and Ray, you know better than me about this. It seems like Didi didn't have any other options.
No, and that was interesting. It was like, and I'm surprised, and that's the one thing about the Phillies organization was that I didn't think they needed to give Didi as much money. I think they could have maybe said to him, like a 2-year, $20 million deal, take another $8 million and address the bullpen or like a fourth starter that they still need. But I know all Phillies fans are happy to have Didi back and happy to have JT back. But I think you're right. Like, and again, the Phillies have went out. Like they come. Sometimes the Phillies have bid against themselves, and they've kind of made the market more than it has to be. You know, like you look at, like, I don't know, people were talking about the Braves, other teams, and the Mets trying to get in on JT. I don't think either of those teams were trying to get in on JT. I think they just knew, let's stir the pot so we can drive up the price. Because they knew the Phillies weren't going to let him go. They were going to sign him. And I still don't think it's a bad price at all. I think you have the best catcher in baseball. If the DH is able to stay in the league, then you have him there for a long time. I think you might also eventually start to say, hey, let's try to move him over to first base a little bit, you know, try to ease his legs. A lot of times you see that with catchers, but I think it was a good move. But look, the Phillies still have a lot to overcome. They still are not the best team in the division. You know, that belongs to the Braves, and the Mets are still going to be competitive. The Nationals are always competitive. The Marlins always give us fits. You know, but it was a great move. I think that Philly fans, like, if Didi and JT would have left this offseason, you would have just gone into this baseball season with no hope at all. I think that a healthy team, and it's interesting because they talk about, you know, they've signed Archie Bradley, they've made some other moves, Jose Alvarado.
Who? Archie Bradley.
Archie Bradley, he was a closer for the Reds at one point. He's a solid bullpen piece.
Oh, okay.
So,
You've heard of him, Coach?
I have not.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know, this you know,
Archie.
he sounds like something from like Happy Days.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, Archie Bradley. So, but you know, here's the thing though, is that, you know, you go over there and you look at it like that. We still got some things to do. But just going back, you know, some of the comments from the people watching us, going back to the trade though with the Lions and the Rams.
Right.
I know that you know, for example, you know, he said that O'Shea Turner, who's watching with us, he says he doesn't think that makes
What's up, man?
He says he doesn't think he makes them a contender automatically. I kind of tend to disagree. You know, and then what's it called? And then John, who's watching with us, he doesn't think that the Rams are Super Bowl contenders, which again I think is completely outlandish. I mean, as long as Matthew Stafford is there, I mean, they were Super Bowl contenders this year with their backup quarterback, let alone having Matthew Stafford. So I really think that this elevates the Rams to a whole nother level.
I mean, I think, I don't know. I mean, Stafford, like I said, I haven't really heard much from Stafford since Megatron's been going. But that could be me and my lack of football knowledge and watching at times too. But I'd be challenged to say, what has he done since then? I don't really know what he's done since then.
And also on that, like, he's never been in pressure situations, meaning big playoff games or anything like that. Like, just because of the teams he's been a part
Right,
of.
and but the thing is, with all due respect, I mean, he, you know, with the team that he had, Stafford had 31 fourth quarter comebacks. So he was
So
I mean,
there's some intel in
there is, and I'm interested to see what happens. But I mean, you got a whole bunch of people here who are kind of back and forth between whether or not it makes them contenders.
But I will say, I mean, you know, I think, Coach, you're right. You got to have some playoff experience and see, you know. But then the thing is, it's tough because you have a lot of people that think that, and I'm not trying to draw a comparison somewhat, but you know, a lot of people that think that, you know, Carson, you know, and his, you know, but he doesn't really have no playoff experience either, but yet he was so quintessential to the Eagles winning the damn Super Bowl or whatever. So I don't know. I mean, you know, hopefully, you know, Stafford will be able to do some things or whatever. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm gonna make a flow chart of all of the topics we've discussed
And
and
how
how
it
it
always-
leads back.
Because
That's
it
what
does,
I'm
because I have to, I've talked to Randy about this too, because, you know, I listen to some of the statements, and then I'm always reminded of everything he said about Carson. So I'm like, wait a minute, there's no congruency. I just want to make sure, I just want things to be congruent. Isn't that's like a math term, right? Oh, we got math teachers in the crib too, right? Oh, that's a math term, congruent. I just want some congruency. That's
Okay, and I understand that, but at the end of the day, and everyone who's watching, I will tell you this, and I will stick to this: the Eagles do not win that Super Bowl without Carson Wentz. But we're not going down that
How?
road.
He didn't play the playoffs
We're not
though.
going
What
down
did he
that
do?
road. We're not
Come
going down that
on.
road,
All
bro.
right, wait.
We're not going down another show. But with that said, too, you know, I know that we always go around, we get our closing thoughts. So, you know what, Coach, how you feel like jumping us off tonight?
Yeah,
with,
I can
closing
definitely
thoughts?
start it off. I want to close with a huge shout out to John Chaney, rest in peace.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Coach Chaney was huge in my development as a basketball player, you know, because my head coach, John Valori, was a disciple of Coach Chaney.
Really? Wow.
Everything we did was called Temple Everything we ran was tempo,
Wow.
every single thing. So I grew up really just following Coach Chaney and his teams, and really the first college team I really watched and fell in love with was his team with Pepe Sanchez, Lynn Greer, Mark Karcher, all those guys. So that was the first. I really got it. That was the first team
The Pepe Sanchez.
The team that for you,
team that
okay.
I love. Like, this is my team. I'm
They
gonna
were
run.
Yeah.
the lefty sharp, right? It was
Yeah.
lefty sharp.
So and he played for the Sixers too, I think, right?
Lynn did not.
No, Pepe did though.
Pepe was there for
Yeah,
me.
he was there
Cup
for
of
a second.
coffee with him.
But I always remember my father loved John Chaney, and he loved that team. And I mean the team with Mark Macon
Mark Macon.
and Howie Evans, and they were. Did they make the Final Four, or Final Eight or something?
Eight.
Oh
Coach
man.
Chaney never made it to the Final Four.
Oh, that Final Eight, they were there. Oh man, that Macon and Evans, oh, they were tough.
And then there was the year, I think, wasn't it the year with Pepe and with Lynn Greer that they got to the Elite Eight and they lost to Duke? I think.
Oh, wow, they made it back again, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
you were right though. Shout out to John Chaney. I remember even just being from this area, like, John, you felt like you had to root for Temple.
Now I will say this, and help me with this, because I was talking
Eddie
about my uncle.
Jones, yeah,
Eddie Jones, right? I was talking with my uncle, and I didn't know that him and Calipari got into it.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
What? You know what I'm
Was
saying?
that the one he said, I'll kill you?
I said, I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I know what was he? What? I know my uncle was telling me, but what do you think he was talking about?
Something happened throughout that game, and I gotta go back and look at it. But
Okay.
I remember it was something about, and I think Chaney actually put a player in that was just supposed to foul.
That was it.
Something
Okay.
like that. And Calipari said something to him about that. And then Calipari was doing his press conference after
Right,
the game.
right.
And Chaney came into the
He
press
kept
conference
gangster.
and tried to, like, let's go.
Right,
right. And he
Gangster.
started, yeah, and that's who he was. And, I was lucky enough to work with Mark Tyndale, who played for Coach Chaney, and his stories were just,
Tyndale, that sounds familiar too.
yeah, he's actually, he played at Temple.
Okay.
Was in the league for a little bit, D-League a bunch, and he's actually a coach with the Raptors now.
Is
Oh,
there
wow.
a relation to David Tyndale with the Knicks?
No, I don't.
No, that was
I don't
David
think so.
Fisdale.
That was
Oh, there's
Fisdale.
a Fizdale?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Well, yeah. That's all right. No, you're not a New York fan.
I'm
so
not, never.
No, right. So it's
They
all
suck.
good.
So yeah, just the stories that I've heard about Coach Chaney are unbelievable. It's like
Wow.
one from how crazy he is, but to also how like he's just we just call randomly 5 years later just to check in and
That's cool,
things like
man.
that.
I
That's
think
cool.
there's something to say. When you got a crazy coach, though, like if you're a good coach and you're crazy, I mean, like I remember when I was playing ball, and I had this coach. His name was Frank Angeloni, who coached me at Camden County College.
Okay.
He was batshit crazy.
Wow.
But he was the best. Still to this day, he was
The
one of the
best
best coaches
coach.
I had. I remember like he had 5 a.m. practices, and he would be like,
Wow.
"Oh," and he was funny guy. We'd all we were in college, we had party and whatnot.
Right.
He'd be like, "Yo, want to fucking go out and party?" What?
Wow.
And he would hit baseballs off the basketball court floor, which the coach did not like under there.
Right.
At us, like full force.
Wow.
So, but again, like the same thing. A few years later, he would have you back, and the same type of thing. When you have that coach who believes in you and just
Yeah.
supports you, like you can deal with all the craziness. Jake, what are your final thoughts or your thoughts on Coach Chaney?
You know what? Listen, man. I grew up a fan of his, this is just an admirer from New York because I remember they were Atlantic 10.
Yeah.
Atlantic 10 team, so you seen them play. And just remember Mark Macon. Really remember Mark Macon and Howie Evans. And I want to say, was it Dwayne Jones? It's like a big man there, I think. I mean, it might not have been Dwayne Jones,
He
but
was at St. Joe's.
that was St. Joe's, right? They had somebody that was a big man. I think he might have been of Hispanic descent, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They had some players, though.
They had Rick Brunson, they had Aaron McKee.
I always remember Rick Brunson,
Yeah.
and the crazy thing is because I saw Rick Brunson at one of your training facilities at one time, right? And I remember saying, I said, "Yo, Jay, that's Rick Brunson." Of course, New Yorkers know Rick Brunson because he played for the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? But I know Rick Brunson because we had this game on Sega Genesis called, I think it was called March Madness.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm telling you, it was 95. We in the dorm at Lincoln University. I'm playing versus Corey. I think his name's Corey Watkins, my roommate and them. Shout out to them cats over there. I went to Lincoln with. And we used to play, and then I'm telling you, listen, Brunson could shoot from half court, water. You could not stop him. You know what I'm saying? You could not stop him. So I just was always a fan of that Temple program just because of John Chaney. So, but my final thoughts are, listen, man, it feels good that we're at 6.5 in the steps of coming and transitioning to our new home. The snow is falling and so are the foam, but at least the foam is stopped. But listen, just very grateful. Final thoughts, listen, I like the way my Sixers are looking. I even like the way the Knicks are looking. The Knicks are playing.
Well, you can say we, because we're all Sixers.
Okay, all right, all
You
right.
can say we there.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, listen, Randy directs me, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I just want to keep it, you know, just want to stay in your lane.
True.
So
I got
don't,
you.
you know.
I got you. But no, the Knicks are doing well, the Sixers are doing well. So I just look forward to this upcoming week. I'm not really a fan of snow. I don't like driving in it. But somebody tell me that's gonna be like 40 degrees Thursday or something like that, so it'll all be gone.
Yeah,
so I'll be happy about that. But just looking forward to this upcoming week. Working virtually. Looks like we'll be working definitely virtually and all activities shut down Monday. Hopefully not Tuesday. There's some games going on, so we'll see. Just just looking forward just to continue to grow and stay corona free, bro.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like, once again, just to piggyback off what Jay said, you see us in our new studio. We got the awesome Let's Get It. Shout out to Jay and all the work that he does for this, putting this together. And like I said, we continue to grow. We got a lot of people following us on the Let's Get It page on Facebook. Once again, also on YouTube, the Four Walls Foundation page. You can like that, subscribe to that. You can watch our live performances. You can watch past episodes. Again, also shout out to Coach Brandon Johnson from the Hamilton West team that joined us, and anybody else. Like I said, we're always looking for more callers, more people to join us on the show. We appreciate a lot of the live viewing. But anybody who wants to join up, we're always looking for people. And my final thought again, like I said, just sitting here with the snow, getting through this. Marcus always with some great insights. Shout out to Jay Jr. for sharing his story with us. Once again, for Jason Bryce, for Marcus Bullock, I'm Randy Dutkin. Check us out on Let's Get It Live on the Facebook page, the YouTube Four Walls Foundation.
And Zoom coming soon.
We are doing Zoom.
Zoom
We'll be
coming
right up here
soon.
before you know it.
That's right.